hope you all enjoyed the video, and I feel like I'm leaving something out, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into the video. George Hennard was born on October 15th, 1956 in Sayre, Pennsylvania, to parents Dr. George Marcel Hennard and Gloria Jeanne. From the time George was 5 years old, him and his younger siblings, Alan, Robert, and Desiree, moved from state to state because their father worked at various army hospitals. George was described as an outgoing kid. He was a cool and good-looking kid. Everyone looked up to George, aka JoJo, as they called him. After graduating high school in 1974, George joined the Navy and 3 years later signed up with the Merchant Marine, working mostly in Gulf of Mexico until 1981. George was reported by his shipmate for a racial statement he said in 1982. George stated that he, and I quote, hated blacks, Hispanics, and gays, unquote. He said women were snakes, and he also had derogatory remarks against women, especially after he would get into fights with his mother. In 1989, for the second time, George lost his seaman license for marijuana possession. He enrolled into a substance abuse program in Houston. He began jumping from job to job, working on construction crews in South Dakota and Killeen, and living part-time in Houston, Nevada with his mother. In February 1991, he legally purchased 2 pistols, a Ruger P89 and a Glock 17. These weapons were not used in the LUBY'S shooting. After purchasing the weapons, 2 women from his neighborhood stated his behavior became increasingly bizarre. On October 15th, George's 35th birthday, he went to pick up his paycheck at his job and announced to everyone that he was quitting. He also blurted aloud, quote, "What would happen if I killed someone?" He started talking about the woman in Belton, Texas, that had given him problems. He also stated, quote, "Watch and see, watch and see." The morning started out like any other day. George Hennard stopped at the Leon Heights Drive-In convenience store in Belton, Texas for breakfast. He had previously been going there on and off for more than a year. A cashier that worked there stated he was always in a hurry. He was ominous and brooding with an unsettling simmering in his eyes. He seemed like he had a lot of problems, but on that Wednesday morning the cashier sensed something. She said he seemed almost calm, almost friendly for the first time she could remember. 7 hours later, George arrived at the LUBY'S cafeteria in Killeen, Texas, 17 miles away from the convenience store. It was lunchtime. LUBY'S was packed with 150 people when George intentionally drove his 1987 blue Ford Ranger into the front of the glass window of the cafeteria, hitting an elderly man in the process. People gathered around the truck, believing it to be an accident, while armed with 2 9mm semi-automatic pistols. George began the massacre, first shooting the closest to him. Most of his victims were women. Before pulling the trigger, George yelled, quote, "All women of Killeen and Belton are vipers. See what you've done to me and my family. Is it worth it? Tell me, is it worth it?" As you could imagine, people were hiding under tables, benches, chairs, screaming for their lives, holding one another's hand and praying. George shot at people point-blank range, injuring or killing them. George said some misogynistic remarks before shooting his female victims. For some reason, George stopped his rampage and began walking around the cafeteria. 28-year-old Tommy Vaughn took this opportunity to throw himself through a glass window. Everyone escaped as fast as possible. Just as police officers responded to the scene, George engaged in a shootout with officers and suffered 4 gunshot wounds. He ran to the cafeteria's restaurant. With his last bullet remaining, George shot himself in the head. I do apologize, I did forget to record an outro for this video. So, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope everyone stays safe. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.